Welcome back to another mock interview. This is the first of two parts of this mock interview I'm going to be doing with Dre, and this is for a junior role. So this first part, this is the verbal portion, and what we're going to be looking for is for him to be able to answer some of these basic questions about JavaScript and a couple of React questions, and just for him to be able to answer them concisely and for him to give us a lot of really good detail. Hopefully this is super interesting and useful, and I hope to see you in part 2 for the algorithms. Dre, thank you so much for jumping in. I know this is it's always fun to do a mock interview, and you said this is your first mock interview. Have you done other interviews for work?
Yeah, I've done like retail related interviews.
But the first programming interview?
Yeah, nothing.
Okay, great. Yeah, well, this is going to be great. You're going to crush it. Can you give me kind of like a paragraph or two, just a bit about yourself and kind of what made you want to do this mock interview today?
I started my coding journey back in around 2020. I was working for a retail company. I'm not going to spill them, but they sold sneakers, and there was a lot of hot releases. And back in like 2020, 2021, it was hard to get shoes, and it was a corrupt game that we were living in. So I decided that I wanted to come up with something that could help contribute to like everybody having an equal opportunity at getting sneaker releases. So I decided to get into web development, and yeah, that's really how I got here. I started coding seriously about September of last year. That's when I started seriously, and then I'm in the job hunt right now. And then I met you about a month back, and I seen you're offering mock interviews, and I was like, you know what, let me figure out what I need to get better at. What am I already good at? So I wanted to hop in one of these with you. Appreciate you for taking the time.
Yeah, these are great. And I feel like, this seems like I'm doing this for you, but I'm really doing this for me because I do a lot of interviews in kind of my leadership role, but also as an interviewee, it helps me practice because getting in the mindset of how I would interview someone helps me practice because, always be interviewing anyway. So I think this is really great for you to jump in here, and you're going to learn a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and start the timer, and we're going to jump right into it if that's cool with you.
Can I get a little taste of what? No, just jump into it. I'm good.
Yeah, we're gonna jump into it. We're gonna jump right into it. So let's go and get started. I got 10 minutes on the clock here. We're gonna do some verbal questions. So let's jump into JavaScript. Tell me a little bit about JavaScript, kind of what you like about it, what you don't like about it.
It's my first language, so it's easy for me to use, easy for me to understand, easy for me to read. It just comes to me naturally. I tried helping my friend with his Python homework for his college course, and it was just, they say it's beginner friendly, but I struggled with the syntax issues and just how to type it out. JavaScript is it just comes to me a lot naturally. I like how I can test it with the console.log, test a lot of my things with console.log, and the array methods are very useful, especially when using React.
Yeah, that's good. So you talk about array methods. So what are some? Let's just say we've got an array of users, right? Each of them has their name and their activity, whether they're active or not, those kind of things. What are some ways we might want to find all the users that are active inside that array?
Oh, do you want to return a completely new array, or do you want to? Okay.
Yeah, a new array. A new array is good.
I would just filter through the array. Figure out it's an object. Figure out the key that's pretty much saying true that they're online.
Yeah.
If it is true, then return that to the new array.
Nice. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, let me do a follow up. What if I just want just the first user who's online?
And we're using array methods?
Yeah. I mean, or however you want to do it.
Oh, if we're doing I would just do a for loop. There's two ways you could do it. You could do it the linear way. You could just check from start to finish and see who's online. Or, no, that might not work. I would just go with the easiest way for right now. The linear method.
Yep.
Is the person online? If they are online, stop the function.
Yep.
Return that one. If they're not, then keep going until you find that person. It might take a long time dealing with a bigger setting, but
you got to get, that's great. And let's just say you wanted to, kind of sort them into two groups. One for those that are online and one those that are not online. Well, how would you do that?
You can use two filter array methods, or you can do a for loop and have two empty arrays, like create two variables, like online, offline variable, loop through them. If this person's online, push it to the online array. If they're offline, push it to the offline array.
Right.
And that turn both arrays to see who was on and who was off.
That's good. So I know in React, we love map. We love .map. What's the difference between like a .map and like a for each?
.map. What is the difference? I know map returns a new array. Kind of like, say if I wanted the ages of everybody in the array, I would get a new array pretty much using map. For each is kind of like just doing a regular loop. It doesn't really do anything unless you do something inside of it. If you get what I'm saying, I don't think that really made much sense saying it. But
that's great.
Map will return you a new array. For each won't return you an array. You will have to make your own thing pretty much.
Yeah. When would you use like a for each, like versus like a for loop?
I ran into problems just trying to practice my data structures using for eaches. Sometimes it wouldn't let me return. Off the top of my head, I can't recall the situation, but there's times where I run into situations and I'm like, why is this a bug?
Yeah.
And like, why is it not doing what I want it to do? And I'd switch it to a for loop, do the same exact thing, and it would work. So, I mean, I think if you can use the for each, because I think it's cleaner code. But if you run into that bug, just switch over to the for loop. It most likely will work.
Yeah. What would you say is the kind of the use case for the keyword this?
That's when you're in classes, right? Or you're in object.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely one of the places you would use it for sure.
Yeah, that's pretty much my most experience I've had using it is when I'm using it inside objects. I think you would create a class, and this, like, you would have parameters, and like, say one of the parameters was like color. You would be like, this dot color equals red, and then use it. That person enters that color. You can use it throughout that person's object or whatever.
Yeah. There's like the especially in React, we love the arrow notation. Just doing the parentheses, the arrow, and then the curly braces. What's the difference between using that notation and just the old function notation where you use the keyword function? Oh,
I know there's some advantages to using arrow functions. I don't know them.
No, that's fine.
I guess arrow functions, but I know there's like I wouldn't say small use cases because I really don't know. I just know there is some.
Yeah. Not many people do know the difference, so you're not alone there. Let's say, have you used TypeScript?
I'm using it on this current project. I know I'm getting to like it. I used to hate it. So
yeah. What do you like about it?
The strictness of it. I'm actually starting to like it. I used to hate it because I'd be like, why am I getting this bug? But like now it's just telling me that, oh, you created a interface object and you're adding something that's not there, and you out there, just make sure you go back and add it. You're trying to use a string when you said you're using a number.
Yeah.
Oh, that's me. So I'm actually starting to like it the more I keep messing up using it.
Yeah. It's definitely one of those that's it can be kind of irritating at first until you come to appreciate it, how strict it is. Let's say you've got like two strings, right? An A string and a B string, and you're trying to get like trying to see which string if the strings have the same number of words. What are some ways you could do that?
Split it by spaces, right? You would assume that they have spaces because they're okay. Yeah. I would use the array method or turn it into array by splitting it, right? And then I would just check the length of that array. Would that sound accurate?
Yeah, that sounds good. And so you're saying you just kind of make sure that they both have the same length? See if they're the same.
Oh.
Yeah, see if they're the same.
Oh, yeah. And then, so you would turn it into split it so it has each individual word, check the lengths, and then see if they're equal. And if they're equal, return true. If they're not, return false.
What are your thoughts on like object destructuring? What are some reasons you'd want to do that?
I've never used it. I know it's popular it's something I should start using in React. I think I see a lot of people use it when they're using props, but me personally, I've never used it. I use array destructuring when I'm setting state.
Yeah. I've got one more question for you before we run out of time. This has been great. Thanks for being the rapid fire. This is great. We got through a lot more questions than I had written down, so this is good. Well, let me ask you a React question, because we've been talking about React here. And so, or what would be a reason you'd want to create a custom hook?
Seeing this question at the bottom of your thing, I've never made one.
Yeah.
I've never made. Like, can you give me an instance on when you would create a custom hook? Because the only two hooks I use are effect and state.
Yeah.
Projects. And like when I talk to people, they're like, those are the two main ones you need to use.
Those are the two main ones you need to use. And when we do our debrief, I'll kind of give you some examples of some ways you'd want to maybe use a custom hook. I think there's some, it's just one of those, again, there's a junior interview. It's not like I'm expecting you to be doing custom hooks left and right, but you might be exposed to people on your team who might, just so kind of how to consume them and those kind of things. Okay, this is great. This is the verbal portion of it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send you in Discord the algorithm problem. And if you don't mind sharing your screen, and we're going to see about solving it. Does that sound good?
Okay.
I'll see you on the other side. See you. Bye.